myself up and trying to make this thing happen. So lots have happened this week, and I'm going to turn the music all the way off because Facebook will shade me and say things to me like, hey, that music doesn't belong to you. You cannot post your video. I post it anyway. Hopefully I won't get into trouble. Don't tell Facebook. I'm not selling this video, so take that, Facebook. Anyway, it's been a pretty long week, good week, and I have a lot to share with you all today. I also have my questions. They are on my phone, but I emailed them to myself. These are questions that I got that people have sent to me about my journey from day job, from leaping from day job to dream job. So I will answer a few of those questions, and if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment box. I don't think I did a good job with introducing myself. I will try to work on that a little bit better, but I'm Krista David, a visual artist living and working in New York City. You can find out more about me at kristadavid.com. You can see some of my work. You can see the lovely archives of the Sunday Summary also there. And you can also contact me over at kristadavid.com. And you can also purchase some of my work over at kristadavid.com. If you were here last week, you know that I recently launched a collection of paintings and collages, which are still available and available for purchase. So you can check those out over at kristadavid.com. And just to give you another preview about, or not preview, but show you what the work looks like. Here's one of the paintings. This is about 9 inches by 12 inches, manageable size, beautiful, can add it to your collection. And I would like to think that my work is affordable because original art can be a little pricey. Rightfully so. People put their blood, sweat, and tears into the work, and it is an investment. But I am still emerging, so my work is affordable, but I suggest that you get in there like swimwear before it's too late. Don't say I did not tell you, okay? Okay. So this is one of the pieces. It's a collection of paintings and collages. So this is what one of the paintings look like, 9 by 12. This one does have a title. Let me get the title for you. I don't have all the titles in front of me. My daughter is asking me about the title. She's in the background. She helped me today. This one is titled, oh no, they're not titled. This is number 9. There you go, number 9. The paintings are not titled, but the collages are titled.
This is number 9.
So you can have number 9, or you can have, this one is called Got Up Singing, from the Joy Is Mine Abstract Collage Collection. This one is Got Up Singing, and it's pretty rhythmic, So this is the collage, and that is the painting. So you can go check those out over at kristadavid.com. Share, even if you can't afford to buy any art right now. Sharing is caring. I really appreciate it. Now that's enough of that. So look at my head thing. You like this?
Oh,
this is too much, right?
So cute.
I'm loving these head wraps because my hair is a hot mess. Because it was raining today in New York, and then it went all puffy on me, but that's okay, whatever. Life. So, hopefully, the collages are dope. Thank you, Nikira. You had me thinking that you were not my family. I'm like, family is supposed to say things like that.
No, but I like them.
It would be great.
I do like them.
More strangers to thumbs up my work. Oh, Stacy, thank you. She said she loves it. She's not related to me, so yay! Thanks for joining, Stacy. Hi, Kelly. Yes, I am looking happy today. Had a good day. Okay, so I'm gonna go down and do the summary because I want to be respectful of your time, my time. I usually like to wrap these things up at 9:30. So, the summary. So this past week, if my memory serves me correctly, I did not have a lot of time to do much because I had a lot of out of the house appointments. One, I started off with like car issues this week, so that took up some time going back and forth to the mechanic, all that business, and that was sort of annoying, but I have to get my car inspection in the morning, so I needed to make sure my car was in good condition. So that took up some time. I did have a really good meeting on Wednesday with someone, another entrepreneur who has a really dope product that you've probably seen if you are a black woman with hair. That's all I'm going to say. And that was a really good conversation. It was another friend of mine with whom I used to work. She is good friends with this creative entrepreneur, so she was like, oh, you guys should meet and talk. You're both into the startup thing, that kind of thing. So I met with her at her beautiful co-working space, and that was really nice. And we just shared, and then so hopefully I'll be able to share more later how I'm going to be collaborating with this particular brand of this very dope product. So I'll let you know about that later. But it was just really nice to talk to another woman of color who is creating wonderful things for other women of color and who's sort of doing this startup thing. Not that she's new to entrepreneurship, but this venture that she most recently started with her partner is something new to her. So it was just good to kind of talk shop, hear a little bit of how she, went from having an idea on her rooftop in Brooklyn to bringing it to market. And just, there were some key things that she shared with me that have been resonating with me. Namely, she was just like, a lot of entrepreneurs tend to get caught up in all of their aesthetic and like their online presence and the logos and all this brand stuff. And mind you, her background is in brand identity and marketing and all that stuff, digital strategy. So she understands the importance of it. But she was just like, no, I had this idea and we needed to bring it to market as quickly as possible, and we needed to see if it was viable. So she was like, a lot of people get caught up in all this other stuff, but you really need to be focused on what is the product. What is the thing that you are going to give to the world to solve a problem that you can be compensated for, right? And that resonated with me because I'm over here sitting here like, oh my God, this website, I just can't figure out what to do with crown work, and I'm just like, I'm ambivalent, I'm mad, all this stuff, and it's just like, or you're not running a business because you don't have a product and you're not bringing in any money. How about that? How does that feel? So she reminded me that it's about the problem you're solving, the product that is solving that problem, and how do you get people to pay you for that. Once that happens, once that exchange of services and goods happens, you're in business. But until that happens, you are not in business. You are doing some stuff that has nothing to do with business. So that was one of those like, ta-da, you better wake up, girl, because you're going to get left behind. Yes. So I was like, thank you so much for that nugget. I really appreciate that. I will hold on to that. And then she shared some other tips that I thought were really helpful just about starting up lean and starting up fast. And she recommended 2 books to me, which I will recommend. I'll just let you guys know about them. I haven't checked into them just yet. One was, of course, Lean Startup, which I don't know why I haven't read that yet, so I am going to read that. And then the other one was Business Model. Oh gosh, what is the name of this thing? I didn't write. Oh, here it is. Business Model Generation. That's the title of the book. And then the other one was Lean Startup. Here are the notes. See, I write everything in my bullet journal. One notebook for everything. So those were 2 tips that she gave me. And then I just shared ideas. Like, I think one of the things that was successful about this meeting, and I'll tell you what was not successful, which I'm beating myself up right now about. But the thing that was successful about this meeting, you go out and you're like trying to drum up either business for yourself or collaborations when you're trying to, start yourself up, is that you need to go prepared with some ideas that serve the other person, right? So this is not about, oh, you should, do this for me, do this for me, do this for me, do this for me. It should be more about, hey, I took a look at your stuff. I think it's great. Here's some, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? And go to them with ideas, like for free. Like they don't have to pay me for these ideas, but just sharing some thoughts. Now, some of these thoughts were things that they've already thought about. Some of them were things that they had not thought about. But because I showed up on the strength of, I like what you're doing, you're very early in the start of it, I would like to contribute. Here are the ways that I think I can contribute. Here are the ways that I think it could be a win-win for both of us. But I showed up prepared. Now, what I did not do, and don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. I tell people not to do this, but I do this periodically, or probably more than I need to. Like, I'm really trying to get better at going from meeting to immediate follow-up. Like, that's like 101 networking. You meet somebody and you immediately follow up and say, hey, met you yesterday or earlier today. Great conversation. Just a recap of what we talked about. Here's what I'm going to deliver and by when. I did not do that. I know, I suck. I am going to do that tonight. I also didn't do that with another thing that happened this week. But here's the good part. My most recent meeting that I had was with somebody impromptu yesterday. Or actually it wasn't yesterday. Maybe it was a couple days ago. I got that down to like maybe 48 hours. I followed up within 48 hours and I was like, okay, so I'm shortening the time in which I respond to people. But after my meeting on Wednesday with this particular woman, I started having all these other car issues and then it just took my focus off of stuff and I didn't follow up properly. But I will do that tonight because I really anticipate collaborating with her and I just think it would be good for the both of us, and then I can learn a lot just about, again, startup, finding a problem, solving the problem, finding a product that people are willing to pay you for, adding value, and then there you go, business. So anyway, don't do what I do what I tell you to do. So follow up with people. I'm not yelling at you, but no, seriously, when you meet with somebody, you want to just follow up with them immediately. And I think one of the reasons why I tend not to do it is because I'll be in this meeting promising all sorts of stuff. And then I feel like I need to write this very thorough email about all the 90 things. But what I could have done is simply sent a very short message just saying, thank you. It was a good conversation. I'm going to follow up again with you with these things. And it could have been very short from my phone as I was walking out the door. I'm learning how to do this. I'm learning the importance of doing this quicker the more that I have these meetings because I'm having lots of meetings with different types of people. And that's the thing that's I know that's the thing that's gonna distinguish me when I can follow up and deliver. So it was a half. I am talking to myself positively about this whole follow-up thing. So that was one thing. Have any of you guys had any issues with like connecting with somebody and then just dropping the ball and not following up? Let me know about it. Drop it in the comments. So that was one great meeting, and then of course I had the opportunity to just hang out with a couple of my friends. And sort of work in a little pod for a couple hours one day this past week, which is nice because I'm usually always by myself and working by myself. So being able to get out and like work in a same space with two people that I like being around was really nice. What also came out of that was a friend of mine saying to me, "Oh, I know the editor of X." really, let's just say X is a really popular um, magazine, but content platform. Yeah, he's right upstairs. He's a good friend of mine. And I was looking at her like, you know the editor of X and you didn't tell me? And she was just like, oh, I didn't even think about that. So which got me thinking, like, I have a lot of friends who are connected to lots of different people. And to them, they're just, this is their friends. They're, you know, their homegirl, homeboy, whatever, person they went to school with. But I didn't realize that, and she was just like, this would be perfect for you to link up with, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like sitting here like, who else do my friends know that I don't know that I need to, you know, get to know? Mainly because, again, I'm trying to find platforms to put my art in different places. So, yeah, this is great. You can put this on your wall and it's beautiful. But it can also be a book cover, right? Yes. Or it can be, you know, in a magazine or whatever, as part of a story. You see art all over the place. People use art in a lot of different ways. Literary magazines, popular culture magazines, whatever. So the more people that I know, and I can say, hey, I'm an artist, and if my stuff makes sense, and for this particular publication, I think some of my other collages, the ones that you can find on my website when you click on portfolio, might work well. So anyway, that got me thinking, like, I just need to tap into my networks a little bit more in a much more strategic and clear way, because I think a lot of my friends and tribe, they are willing to help me. They're like, how can I help you? What can I, you know, who can I connect you with? But if I don't go to them with a clear and direct ask saying, hey, this is what I'm trying to do with my art, I want it to be in magazines like this, then it won't, you know, it's not enough to kind of jog their memory about who are the potential connects in their network that I can be connected to. So that was a lesson this week. It's like, you are connected to everybody that you need to be connected to make this thing work. Another example of that is like, you know, my best friend's partner. He works with lots of fine artists. Like, folks like Ed Clark. You need to Google him, right? And this is a very prominent African-American artist. Well, Ed Clark is connected to lots of people. Or my best friend's partner has lots of information just about how the art market and art world works, because he's spent so much time in it. And I'm like, oh, I never even thought to like ask his opinion outside of like, what do you think about my work type of thing, but like the logistics and the nuts and bolts. And I'm sitting here like, okay, there are lots of people in my immediate space that I may be not fully leveraging, and not leveraging and I'm gonna use you kind of way, but simply like this is like your close friends and family who are connected and have resources that can potentially get you into spaces or get me into spaces that I need to be. So that was a big lesson for me this week. And that happened a couple other times. Like, I was at dinner last night, listening to some music, and met somebody else who, again, it's like there's a lot of possibility there with this person that I met last night. He's a lawyer who works with artists of all kinds around sort of not just monetizing their work, but like getting them set up and sort of protected with regards to their work. So he just gave me a little nugget of information about my collages, and like when I use images from magazines, like sort of, am I gonna get sued? I just want to know. And he kind of like broke it down for me, and is gonna send me a bunch of resources just to say, no, I'm gonna send you this landmark case that says pretty much you're fine, and here are the reasons why you're fine. And I'll send you a PowerPoint presentation that I did on this very topic about copyright. So I was like, this is great. I needed to know that because I was a little nervous. Like, can I sell this piece? This is not my photography, you know? So that was really good. And then there'll be some other things that will come out of that. So all in all, it was a very good week as far as connections. I do have to learn how to follow up and fully leverage. I fall short of leveraging my network. I hear you, Stacy. Yep. So with the leveraging the networks, I think the most important lesson there is simply be clear about what it is that you're trying to do right now, and talk and share with your networks what you're trying to do right now. If you can sum up like your ultimate goal in one sentence, that's fine, but that's like long-term big picture goal. But if there's like one solid thing that you are focusing on right now, share that with your networks. I want to get my collages into magazines and books, that kind of thing. Does anybody know anybody who works for a magazine anywhere who can get me in contact with the art director anywhere? I need a personal email, that kind of thing. So being very specific. And even now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I have people that I know who are connected to people who work, I don't know, at Essence or Ebony or Oprah Magazine or the Columbia, I went to Columbia. We have an alumni magazine. They put art in that all the time. You know, things like that. It's like you have no idea, but you have to make the request very clear and let it be very specific. And then the key thing about network is you don't want to always take from your network. It's about what you give. So you want to be both clear with the requests, but then you also want to make sure it is worth the ask, right? So you don't want to use up all your requests just on trivial things. Like it needs to be a very important piece of what you're trying to accomplish overall. And then just make sure that you're giving into the network. Like I feel like in my last 10 years of working in public health, I've tried to be generous with my time, my advice to other people. And now that I'm out here on my own, trying to set my own stuff up, I'm grateful that I can ask some of these folks who are in my network, hey, you know, can you link me up to this person? Can you do an e-introduction with this person? Or, you know, that kind of thing. So I think your network is only as good as you have been to it. So keep that in mind. The last thing I want to talk about before I wrap up, because I realize I've been rambling, hopefully it's useful, is this little bit about resistance. So it's been an overall pretty good week. Setting business setup wise, but then I've had some serious resistant challenges, doing mainly tech challenges. So I'm trying to scan designs to send off to a printer to get some proofs back for a product that I want to sell for the holiday. My freaking scanner just stops working. And I spend hours trying to troubleshoot it, and I'm like, I don't want to have to go out and buy another scanner. I just cannot. I don't want to spend money needlessly. So the scanner wasn't working. Then my website went out for 24 hours, 48 hours. I don't even know how long. One of my websites, not my main website. This is Hump Day Hug, which you should check out, by the way. So I was just having all these tech challenges, and I was just like, this is so dumb. I don't even know why I'm spending my time working on this thing. This is not worth my energy. This is crazy. I just can't ever get anything to work out right. And I was telling my best friend this, via text, I just don't understand why simple little things I'm trying to get done, it'll take me 3 hours because I'm stubborn. Instead of me just being like, oh, the printer's not working or the scanner's not working and let it go. After 30 minutes of trying or in troubleshooting with the drivers and stuff online, to just let it go and go work on something else and then find another way. But I'm stubborn, so I'll just spend 3 hours, 4 hours working on it, and then I'm frustrated, and then I just go to bed. So that happened a couple times this week. And I think the take home there for me is kind of the lesson that I learned when I was in Greece this past June, which I'll tell you more about later, is this idea of there's always another way. And if something doesn't work one way, there's always another way. Now, in the instance of me in this scanner of mine that was not working, And I really wanted to just give up working for myself at that point because I'm like, listen, if I was in an office, I wouldn't have to deal with this crap. Now, granted, I would not be able to use office stuff for personal things, but I would have all this stuff at my disposal, a printer, a copier, all this stuff that you take for granted when you're working in an office. But when you're working for yourself, you're relying on the tools that you have at your own home. The tools that you normally don't use as often. So I'm like, my scanner was working 3 weeks ago. Why is it not working now? And my best friend was just like, well, you wasn't really keeping your stuff up. It's about maintenance. Now that you have to use all of your own tools, it's important to make sure that they're in working order if you're going to be relying on them for something that's really important to your business. So I'm making patterns so that I can put patterns on things to sell for the holiday. I'm making patterns that I need to scan and then manipulate in Photoshop so that I can put on different things that I want to make for you, right? Or for customers. So I cannot just assume that my scanner, which has been working fine up until recently, is going to work if I haven't been constantly using it as part of my business. So her whole point was just like, this is what happens when you're trying to start anything up. You're going to have lots of problems. You're going to have lots of resistance. Take it as a sign that you need to keep going. And I was like, well, I was trying to take it as a sign that I need to give up, or that this was like a waste of my time and I don't need to deal with it. And she was just like, no, it's the complete opposite. So because I trust her, and she usually talks me off of all kinds of limbs, she was right, because if it's the reason why I stayed with trying to fix this scanner for 4 hours, not only because I was stubborn, but because the thing that I was making, I was just like, I really think this is a really neat thing, and that there's a market for this, and that people would really like this thing that I'm making. And it's needed, and it would be helpful. So I'm going to keep going because it's that important, and I've already started the conversations with the manufacturer, the printer, my local printer, and all this stuff. So she was just like, no, the resistance is basically telling you you're on the right track. You just need to find another way. Now, what I could have done is simply stop after 30 minutes, go work on something else, take myself to the Staples the next day. Hey, Staples, can you please scan this for me? $2, no problem. But what I did instead was I gave up 4 hours of my time. Now, 4 hours of my time is $600. Seriously, American dollars. My hourly rate is $150 an hour if you want to hire me. And I just gave it away because I did not want to spend $2 on a scanner, on a scan from Staples. That was dumb, right? So anyway, that was my lesson. Like, I have to keep reminding myself how valuable my time is. Always be in the place of there's another way to get this accomplished. And then know that when you're starting anything up, you're going to have glitches and you're going to have resistance and you're going to have issues when you're starting anything new. So you have to be prepared for it, because I wasn't prepared for it. I cried. Totally cried. Okay? Because I'm so emotional about this whole journey of like, oh my God, is this going to work? I don't know. I need to start making money, etc., etc. I'm all sensitive about any little thing that's been happening. I tend to cry. I had a meeting with a group of artists this past weekend, this little mastermind type group. And it was the first meeting. 2 of the ladies I knew, 1 of the ladies I didn't know. And then I'm sitting on the Skype crying because I'm so sensitive at this particular point. Everything is very emotional because this whole working for yourself, trying to build something for yourself, and not having a steady paycheck, it is very challenging emotionally. It is scary. You will be doing all sorts of irrational things, like fighting with your scanner, because you're like sitting there having this self-talk about, no, this has to work. I don't understand why this is not working. My skin, like you doing, and that was dumb, right? Instead of just being like, okay, I am in business for myself. I have to start some things up. I have plans. I'm executing some of these plans. I have these glitches. Okay, this is not working. What else can I do right now? Okay, I can stop doing that. I can go to my best friend's house and scan tomorrow. I can go to Staples and scan tomorrow. There's other things that I can do. It's just that I don't need to waste my time, and I certainly don't need to be sitting here crying about how, God, this must be not what you have for me because I can't get my scanner to work. And this printer is waiting on these scans, and this sucks because I really want this to work. So anyway, best friend talks me down. The lesson here is that resistance is resistance. Resistance has its place. And it's not something that should get in the way of you moving forward. You should just see it as confirmation that you're moving in the right direction. And then most importantly, you should push forward, right? Even if you take a minute and walk away from whatever that situation is just for a minute, so that you can get clarity about, okay, what is the workaround in this situation? What is the other way? What is the, because there is always another way to like how they say there are many ways to skin a cat. There are many ways to solve a problem. So when the resistance come, just know that, okay, this is serving me. I need to take a minute, and if that means you have to cry, you can cry, like I did. But then you have to kind of train your mind to say, you know what, this is really important. I think it's a really good idea. I'm going to figure out another way to do it. And then I also think that you have to let other people know what you're struggling with so that they can help you too. So that's my little spiel on resistance. So yes, resistance is a biatch, but you should listen to what she has to say. Because she'll tell you a lot about you and what you need to do in your business. So that is the Sunday summary. I felt like I talked a whole lot. And did the Sunday summary cut off? Okay, it didn't cut off. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions, calm down and look for another way. Yes, Stacy. So let me go to one of the questions that I got this week, and then I'll just wrap up. Unless you have any questions, and you can leave it in the comment, and then I'll respond to it. One person said, "Is posting on social media a part of your daily or weekly routine? If so, where on your priority list?" And this is a good question because if you're following me on Instagram, and you should be following me on Instagram, my Instagram is @KristaDavid.art. I really like Instagram. I am super clear that you need to be consistent on Instagram and post on Instagram and have sort of like this cohesive, clear point of view on Instagram in order to quote unquote do well. I post sort of more sporadically, and I know I should probably be really focused on posting at least a couple times a day. Definitely one time per day. I think what I'm more consistent at, just simply because it's so easy and fun, are the Insta stories. I don't know how many people are watching the Insta stories, but I like to share snippets of my day. So I'm pretty consistent with that. I also like to share on Insta stories all of the art that I see in New York. So if I'm going to an exhibit, and prayerfully if I have not burnt out all my battery, I tend to take my followers, I hate calling them followers, my tribe along with me, and I'll share snippets. So like last week I went to go see the black genius and black excellence that is Kerry James Marshall. If you don't know who he is, please Google him. or just hashtag Carrie James Marshall. On Instagram, you'll see some of his work. And then I wrote about him on my blog as well at KristaDavid.com. And he had this huge retrospective at the Met Brewer. Is that how you pronounce it? Met Bauer? Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. Brewer, I can't pronounce it. At the Metropolitan Museum of Art, their contemporary division, which is a new facility, which used to be the old Whitney, I believe, museum. But anyway, it was an incredible exhibit. I cried. It is breathtaking. I can't wait to go back. I'm going to see it at least 2 or 3 times before they take it down, if not more. Mainly because you got to sit with the work. And it's a lot of work. It's 2 full floors. It's amazing. So I post things like that on my Insta stories. But I want to get better at sharing photographs of my work, my process, etc. Because I think it's important just so that people get to know, like, and trust me and want to support me and add my artwork to their collection, to their homes, to their spaces, or gift it to people. So it is a part of my weekly routine. Insta stories is definitely a part of my daily routine during the work week. And yeah, but I know I can do more to sort of improve. I am, just so you know, I think part of your question, yeah, so it's on my priority list. It's not high on my priority list because the most important thing is making work. So that's the highest priority. Because I'm still in like startup mode for some of the public health stuff that I'm working on, I've been prioritizing working on that website and just sort of clarifying the direction of that part of my business. But I think once I can get out of startup with some of that stuff, I can just sort of get back into my routine with Instagram. As far as other social media forms, I haven't factored that into my schedule. I mean, Twitter, I used to like Twitter a lot, but now that I have a new Twitter account, that's Krista David Art, I'm just not on there enough. And I'm a big fan of like, you should definitely set up your name, your brand, your company on all of the platforms. But as far as like how you utilize them, you have to start with one and like really work it and get the swing of it. The one that's going to be most important for your business. And because I'm an artist, the visuals are really important. So Instagram naturally is the best place for me to be. Twitter is good, but it's just not for me at the moment. And I think once I can get more help and start building a team and have people with dedicated roles and responsibilities, then I think adding more social media would be good. So right now I'm just doing Instagram mainly, and then this wonderful weekly program called Sunday Summary, which I also post. I take the videos and I upload them also to YouTube. So, but that's it. Hopefully that answers your question. But social media is very important for artists. Instagram is probably the most important place for artists. I think I want to get to the point also where you can actually just buy my work off of Instagram. There are ways to do that. I want to try to increase my tribe or grow my tribe on Instagram. And I do keep, that's what I wanted to show you. I do keep in my bullet journal a tracker that I made for all of my social media stuff. So these are the most important metrics in my business. And this one is my newsletter subscribers. This is my Instagram, my 2 Instagram accounts that I have. One is for my art, the other one is for my bullet journal. You don't know about that. It's called Bojo Beautiful if you want to check it out. I just love planner things. I'm a planner addict, planner lover, so I have this other account where I just like to share how I'm using my bullet journal and to help keep me organized and yeah, if you're into bullet journaling or journals or planners, leave it in the comments so I know who you are, and then I will leave information about my journaling system down there if you want to check it out. So yeah, so that hopefully that answers the question. Do you have any questions? Oh, really? That's great. Stacy says that she loves that I'm documenting my creative journey. So thank you, Stacy. And that she also does a weekly review. It sounds like you do a private week. She does a private weekly review. I agree with you, Stacy, that sharing them is powerful, but I do still feel like it's powerful even just to have a weekly review of what you're doing in your business for yourself. It doesn't need to be broadcasted. I think just as a practice, as a business owner, or anybody trying to create anything, just having some time to reflect on where you are, what you accomplished that week, you know, what worked well, what did not work well, what resources were helpful, how did you help others that week, and how's all that related to your ultimate goal. That goal can be your 90-day goal or your annual goal. I think that that's helpful. I want to do more of that, and I definitely want to do more journaling about it, because it's a lot of times I'm always like, oh, everything is sucking, this is not working, I've got to go find another job. But then I get into these Sunday summaries when I'm jotting down my notes right before the video, and I'm like, wait a minute, some things actually worked out well this week. You didn't give yourself enough credit, and you have to stop being so pessimistic about this whole process and just know that it's going to be this up and down thing, and you have to celebrate the wins and learn from the experiments. Let's not call them failures. Let's call them experiments. Experiments sometimes work, sometimes they don't, but you get to learn from them. And yeah, so reflection, adding a piece of reflection into your sort of weekly practice, daily practice as a person is definitely helpful, but as a business owner, you should definitely do that, because then you won't know if you're on target or not. So yes, any other questions before I wrap up? Because now we're at 45 minutes, which I love chatting with you guys, but I don't know how many people sit through 45-minute videos, but we have people live. Yay! Look at my little ninja. Isn't he cute? My former colleague Judy gave me this. So cute. It's a little black ninja. I used to call all the folks at my job who work with me, many of them, the ones who worked really hard and whose work I was just like impressed with. I used to call them ninjas, mainly because in the work environment that we were in was kind of required us to be ninja-like, i.e. do things in secret or in a roundabout way in order to actually get them done. So you have to be a ninja. You have to be quick, swift, just get it done. Don't talk about it. So anyway, so that's it. I am going to wrap up the Sunday summary because, oh, you are a planner junkie? Yay, Stacy. I will drop my Instagram where I talk all things planner over there. And if you have some planner stuff that you post, let me know. Also, Stacy, I don't know, post your website to your beautiful creations. Stacy is a fiber artist. She crochets. I don't know if you knit as well, Stacy, but post your link so that we can see your stuff in the comments. Thank you so much for joining and commenting. All right, my lovely peoples, I am going to sign off and get myself together for the week. Tomorrow is Monday. I am so excited for tomorrow. I feel like I grow more and more in love with Mondays as the days go by. especially last Monday. I think last Monday was like rainy and dreary and cold, and I was like, guess who does not have to leave her house to go to work today? This girl. I was very grateful. But I love Mondays. You should love Monday too. Just be encouraged. If you are having the Sunday blues right now, be encouraged. There is a way out. Your situation at the cubicle farm is not it's not a dead end. Use this time to get clear on what it is that you want, like really want, and start to jot down, make plans about what you have access to at your disposal right now to help you make the leap from your day job to your dream job. Okay? And before you even think about making that leap, go back to the first video in Sunday Summary. And I think I gave you 5 things that you should be thinking about while you're still at your